Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this evening's council meeting. City of Anamosa City Council agenda regular session on Monday, June 10th, 2024, 6 p.m. Anamosa Library and Learning Center. 1.0 roll call.
Here.
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 Here. There are 4 members present in chamber, 2 absent. 2.0 Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You haven't already, please silence your cell phones. As we go through this evening's agenda, with 4 council members present, it will take 3 favorable votes to carry a motion. 3.0 consent agenda, review and approve. I'll read the 4 items. Council's motion can contain consent, which will bring all 4 to a vote, or they can make a motion for any of the items listed. Item A, minutes for May 28, 2024, regular session. Item B, current bills. Item C, liquor licenses. Item D, cigarette, tobacco, nicotine, vapor permits.
Move to approve consent agenda.
I'd actually like to talk about the bills.
I can open that up. I'd like to get a motion.
I'll second it, and then we can
Thanks, Rick.
discuss. Yep.
So we have a motion in a second, so we can go ahead. Council can openly discuss any of those 4 items.
So yeah, I'd like to talk about the bills. Steve, can you tell me what this bill is for $64,000?
Where are you?
The wastewater?
Page, what page, Dan?
Oh, shoot. Page 4.
DC Cross Companies.
Yep, for replacement blower,
What blower?
blower number 3.
So you didn't rebuild a Kaiser?
We tried that once before and it failed immediately. And it is impossible to get parts from Kaiser right now. So we decided to go with a blower that we can get parts for that they have sitting on the shelf. Was brought to council, I don't know, last September, August, September,
It
was
was
approved by
last-
council.
Last fall sometime,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly.
Last fall sometime was approved by council to go for it, so.
Well, in my opinion, that's a huge mistake because Kaiser is the best blower they make.
I went with Gardner Denver. They're a very popular blower also.
Okay, we'll see. Thank you.
Steve, right below that is $4,700 invoice for smart points. Just, can you tell me what smart points?
The smart points, that is the box that's on the outside of the house that read to the system. So we have to keep switching them out. Right now, we have approximately 400 left that we have to switch out. So then when Madison pushes the button, she will get all the reads and we don't have to get the truck. We don't have to get in the truck and do the truck route.
How many boxes would total $4,700?
They're $140 a piece.
$144 a piece.
So
There's 27 in a box.
So just maintaining some inventory.
no, we're actively putting them on as we
They don't
speak.
stay on the shelf very long.
No,
Okay.
because like I said, we have 400 left in the city that we need to replace, and then the whole city will be on the radio read system.
This has been happening for the last 8-9 years now. We've been rotating it out.
Don't remember the descriptions of some of that stuff, so I see it 6 months from now, I may ask you again.
It's, we can't get them all at once, so we get them a couple boxes at a time, 3 boxes at a time as they get them.
Well, you gotta give them one another.
And then we do get a credit when we turn the old ones in. We get some money back from the old ones, so.
Good.
Have a general question, just. I need a refresher on what is the project bid process in terms of if we've got some type of an improvement or a repair that needs to be made in any department, what is the process? How many bids do we seek? What's the floor for the amount? Just as a practical matter.
I can get you the full purchasing policy. The department directors have been issued I call it a overview or a quick view. It's just kind of a highlight of the high points. Essentially, depending on the project, the cost and scope of the project, we're looking for, I don't recall the amounts, but we're looking for a minimum of 3 quotes if it is possible. Of course, there's some items we run into, both police, to other extents, water, wastewater, where there may only be 1 or 2 manufacturers of a certain part or service. So in those cases, we just ask them to attempt to do that.
And if I recall, the limit is 2,500.
I think it's for, department directors is 2,500. And that is on, fixed assets. Services would be slightly different, or, of course, if it's an ongoing, service agreement type of thing, most of those generally come before council. Technically, they are considered, debt. We want to make sure we're getting those approved.
So anything that is in the director's estimation under $2,500 is up to their discretion as to whether they seek out 3 bids, or I just want to understand the policy myself.
So anything under the $2,500 threshold, it is up to the director's discretion. But the practice is, and according to the internal policy is, they should periodically review those to ensure that we are in fact still getting the best product or service, at the lowest cost. We don't have a set time period for doing that yet. And of course, there are certain services or products where, again, you may run into that where that may be the only available one. So we're less stringent on that.
Thank you.
So anything over $2,500 that come in front of the council to approve, or do you?
Anything over 2,500, I can approve. I believe it's up to, I don't remember now either, but it's got to be for an urgent or emergent circumstance. Otherwise, it goes before the council. So, if, for example, we would have something go down as an emergency,
Pump go down or
pump
something?
go down, we have a couple weeks before the council would meet.
Yep.
I can make those discretionary decisions.
Thanks for the clarification.
Thank you.
Penny, we have in front of us a corrected expense report.
Yeah.
Can you just give us a snapshot of the update to this versus the package?
The first report that I read, this is from the first one, the last council meeting was actually off. And I should not have included those tables, so I reran it from 80/29. So it should be there.
Also, any just further discussion on any of the agenda items? Does public have any comment on the agenda items? There are no other questions. Penny, would you conduct a roll vote on the consent agenda?
Yes.
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 Consent motion carried. 4.0 public hearings, none. 5.0 proclamations, none. 6.0 postponed items. 6.1 review and approve commission site co-location agreement, water tower agreement between city and Jones County E911 Service Board. Gary Schwab, Jones County E911.
I have included the draft in the packet. I did change those amounts, the insurance amounts. We had a slight change in the insurance amounts, which are reflected in this. But Gary sent me the updated copy as well without the watermark on it. It's the exact same document. If the council does approve that tonight, we'll have the one without the watermark on it ready for signature. So, Gary, sorry.
Yeah, Gary Schwab, Jones County 911 Coordinator. I live on 17517 E23 County Home Road. So any questions? There are some blank areas as far as dates when everything would be enacted. And those are just based on approval from here and approval from the 911 Service Board.
Gary, just to bring everybody up to date.
Mhm.
I've been part of the committee just since the first of the year, or the commission, whatever we're called. This is just an ongoing project that the sooner we get started, we can get the approval of I think it's
Yes.
the microwave agreement that we have to get. That's the thing that takes.
There's a
some time.
microwave agreement that has to be signed by the federal government it's got a 12-week lead time. Other than that, all the equipment is pretty much readily available. Be some equipment that will go on the Amber Tower and then obviously on the water tower here to improve the communications, not only and primarily one thing that we're going after was trying to improve the communications within Jones Regional. But the side benefit is that it will also improve coverage throughout the fire and EMS district for Anamosa.
And there was some testing that was done that
Mhm.
seemed to indicate that by doing this, it would perform the function of improving the communication better than it is currently. Is that right?
Correct. Right now, a lot of times the hospital itself and the emergency department, their paramedics and that they're basically on standby and performing services there as part of their training and service responsibilities. Well, they have a radio inside the emergency department, which is also within kind of the radiology area, and everything is very shielded. So 9 times out of 10, they can't hear the pages. They can sometimes and several times hear the ambulance, but they can't always hear all that other traffic that precipitated that event. So they don't know what they may or may not have coming to them. So we did these tests before we decided, do we even want to pursue this to make sure that we could get a signal inside the building? There was a report that was issued to Jeremiah and Rod that showed that the decibel readings, dBm as they're called, are well within the range, especially on the digital side, that we should have good penetration pretty much within any area of the hospital. The analog, there are some fringe areas where it'll be about 80%, but that is still drastically better than what it has been. So we feel pretty confident that we should have a much better reception within the hospital and be able to keep those folks informed as to what's going on.
And the other benefit to the city is it is not costing us financially, it is costing us a
Correct.
space about the size of that podium inside the building. Is that right?
That's about it. Yeah, roughly. Yeah, there will be some cables that will run up transmission lines up through the center of the tower and then an antenna or two up on top to facilitate that signal.
Thanks, Gary.
Any other council questions or comments? Any public comment? Gary, so this leg of the project isolated to Anamosa in a sense.
Yep.
You're looking for council approval to advance this? And you mentioned someone else who again?
Well, the 911 Service Board, they have seen the agreement. They're they're well aware of it, but we haven't brought it to the vote to the service board either.
Are
So
those
it's just a matter of getting the two entities to say, yay, rarely we agree, and then get signatures and everything will go.
There's no other parties that need to approve?
Nope.
Well, I'll move to approve pending the 911 approval too.
Second.
Motion by Rich, second by Todd. Now that we have the motion, is there any other discussion? You looked on technicality. Hearing none, Benny, would you conduct a roll vote, please?
Yes.
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 Motion to approve, Carrie. Gary, thanks for all your time invested in this, and I guess we certainly look forward to a better service citizens to be provided throughout the county.
And I'll keep Jeremiah informed as how the project moves along as well. The next 911 service board would have been July 4th, but obviously nobody wants to meet that day. So we'll have the next week. So I think that's the 11th. We'll have our board together. So from that point on, we'll work on the dates on getting this document formalized. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
7.0 council action items. 7.1 discussion and possible action fiscal year 24 project closeout procedures. Penny Load, city clerk.
So in that we provide you with the treasurer's report, we did have the two projects, the transportation project, the fund project. And we do have a back to close out for the next fiscal year. Direction in the council to their fund for the looking at the fire and the cash balances, we do not have the funding available to cover the expenditures. So my question is the council should prepare resolution and for cash from the general fund cash to cover cash from the
How much are we looking at? Needing?
Motion to for the under fund for 3.1 fire station. 1,289 for $4,000. And the police station project 249 for 7490.
Move to approve transfer of funds to cover the debt.
Then we don't transfer general cash.
Sure.
Conflict their resolution.
A motion to K to proceed with the resolution on the transfer of funds. Did you clarify, Benny, all it'll be tonight is a motion to bring it before us for a vote?
Yes, I was just basically looking for direction as to which fund, if you wanted to transfer from stuff, prepare the resolution. I didn't want to just assume the resolution.
Okay.
Well, I would second then the motion to at least have a discussion.
Because this is not the finalization, it's just the first step in the process. Yeah. Okay.
Any other questions or comments? Public comment? Penny, please conduct a roll vote.
Being certain.
Yes.
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 Motion to proceed carries. 7.2 review and approve URA and lead interim controls plan addendum for phase 2 downtown renovation project.
Derek, Economic Development Director approached me, Jones County Economic Development Director approached me, just a couple of weeks ago. I've included in the packet the original, agreement. Um, I think I've notified the council. We just ran into some snafus regarding the relocation assistance to some of the, downtown residents. Particular one or more, I believe it was only one, but there may be additional, required, some pet arrangements or animal arrangements that kind of sent us for a loop trying to figure out how to provide the correct relocation to those individuals. ECOG originally had requested that the city provide payment, for like an Airbnb. Penny and I discussed it. We didn't really feel comfortable doing that, just the, perceived, lack of accountability. Although I think it was on the up and up, we would much rather, pay JSED for this and reimburse that. But because of that change, it was enough that ECOG had requested that this addendum, so it spelled out exactly how the process was going to work rather than us pay them directly. So Derek had ECOG draft this, addendum up, which just explains that, we'll provide the gift card to the tenant, but that, JSED is going to be, funding that. We're writing a check then to Jones County Economic Development.
Entertain a motion to move forward with this.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Motion by Rich, second by Dan. Any council discussion?
So Jeremiah, your concerns, your preliminary concerns have been satisfied that we're okay with kind of how they're planning on doling out the money or how it's categorized?
Yes, again, I think the original, still would have been satisfactory. It just, I would rather be safe than sorry. The alternative option that's presented tonight, essentially with ECOG administrating this and us reimbursing Jones County Economic Development, it just seems like a far better solution than the, initial.
Council questions? Is there any public comment? Any?
Wellman,
Yes.
Katie Smith,
Yes.
Kevin Smith,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Motion to approve carried. 7.3, review and approve appointing John Day and Bill Feldman to the Planning and Zoning Commission effective July 1st, 2024.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Kay, second by Rich. Council discussion.
So does this fill up planning and zoning then? It's a full board then?
It is, yeah.
How many positions are there on the P and Z?
7 positions. With these 2 filled, it'll be 7 total positions.
And are there a set number of years as far as appointments are concerned?
Yes, so 5-year terms. I believe it says not more than 30%. I think it's not more than 30% can expire in the same year, so they're staggered terms. This one is going to be slightly staggered differently. It's been vacant for probably a couple years now. So we're going to put them in and essentially set that date exactly 5 years from now.
And you've been having trouble getting a quorum so you can actually hold a meeting, correct?
There's been several instances where it's just been difficult. I think we've maybe fixed some of those problems. I think I updated the council in my most recent department director report. The Planning and Zoning Commission agreed to meet monthly. So we've started those monthly meetings now, which I think will fix some of that. As well as this last Planning and Zoning Commission meeting, we updated the emails, hopefully to try to do what we do with council and provide this information ahead of time via email. So everybody has a chance to look at it rather than a hard copy the night of.
And with planning and zoning, people take their request to them to get a variance or whatever. Are they the final decision and they just recommend to us, or do we get their thoughts on it and we then vote on variances or changes? Or
Yeah, so there's a separate board for those process. The zoning board of adjustment would handle variances. Planning and zoning, I don't have the ordinances directly in front of me, but essentially for any site review, subdivision, projects, things of that nature, the ordinances specify that the Planning and Zoning Commission, excuse me, is required to approve or review and recommend those to the council. So they would have an initial approval process as well as the internal process. We have a site review committee made up of employees, as the engineers also get that. So it's kind of all happening all at once. And then within 30 days, they're required to make a recommendation to council.
so ultimately we will see the work before it's actually approved.
Yes, yes,
For final say.
yes, correct.
Thank you.
With meeting monthly, Jeremiah, what date and time are those meetings, or are they just, you have them set, or is it in a sense as needed throughout the?
No, we do have them set. We set them for the first Monday of the month, so as not to conflict with council meetings. 4:30, I believe, 4:30 in the afternoon.
Council, anything else? The public have any comment? Benny, please.
Yes.
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 Motion to approve. Individuals carried. 7.4, review and approve consent agenda. Pay request totaling $12,262.50. There are 4 items listed. I will read all 4. Council again can make a motion that includes consent, or they can make a motion on any of the items. Item A from HR Green in the amount of 1,000 for the water treatment plant disinfection system, CPS. Item B from HR Green in the amount of $725.50 for water department GIS services. Item C from HR Green in the amount of $6,000 for GIS services annual renewal. Item D from Origin Design in the amount of $4,537 for the Stallion Creek Waterway Improvement Project.
Move to approve consent.
Second.
Motion by Rich, second by Todd. Council discussion on any of the items.
Where is Stallion Creek?
Right beside the Lawrence Center,
Okay.
under Division Street.
Never knew that was called Stallion Creek.
Mhm.
Anything else, council? Public comment? Penny?
Kate Smith,
Yes.
Wyman,
Yes.
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 Consent, motion carried. 8.0, city administrators report.
I just have one thing tonight. I want to say thank you to Kale and the Parks and Recs staff. I found out after the fact they had a pool inspection, kind of a surprise pool inspection. It went very well. I believe the inspector had a glowing report for us, so thank you to that staff.
Congratulations on that, kid. Council, any questions or comments for Jeremiah? Report 9.0 mayor and council reports, 9.1 mayor's report. I do not have a report. 9.2 council reports.
Well, if you weren't there Sunday, y'all must made me sorry.
I heard from at least one source that it was very enjoyable.
It was.
I have a very brief report. I've already talked with Jeremiah about it. There's a compatibilities assessment that the cities are helping or putting together for the emergency management system. Jeremiah is working with Brenda Leonard, I think, on that, and it has to do with accessing FEMA funds eventually in the event of a disaster, but we have to have a certain plan put together that Brenda knows more about, but that was primarily the biggest takeaway from my meeting last week with the EMS and the phone or the tower stuff. So, but Jeremiah, I know, was reaching out to Brenda Leonard to work on that. So otherwise, moving forward.
Next time. 10.0 public comment for items not on the agenda.
I just wanted to give a little update. On June 1st, we had our big summer kickoff, and that was for all of our city stuff that we were doing. We had over 200 people sign up for summer reading. We had inflatables, we had free swim. Kale was there all day, getting everything coordinated and everything like that. So the road closure was for a good cause. It was a lot of fun, and we had a lot of people down there. So just a good thing that the city was doing. So that's all.
Good, thanks for that update.
You guys get the road closed all the time, but I don't know if you can figure out how to go.
Is there any else? Anyone else? 11.0 closed session. 11.1 motion to enter into closed session per Iowa State Code Section 21.5 J to discuss the purchase or sale of particular real estate only when premature disclosure could be reasonably expected to increase the price the government body would have to pay for that property, or reduce the price the government body would receive for that property. The minutes and the audio recording of the session closed under this paragraph shall be available for public examination when the transaction discussed is complete. Have received an email from the city attorney that they definitely authorized to enter in closed session for this purpose.
I'll make a motion to enter into closed session for Iowa State Code Section 21.5 J.
I'll second.
Motion by Rich, second by Dan. I'll ask council to have any discussion only regarding the motion, nothing else. Hearing none. Penny, would you conduct a roll vote, please?
Tom,
Yes.
Dan Smith,
Yes.
Dave Smith,
Yes.
Michael,
Yes.
Motion carried. We will enter back in.